Today I'm going to give some old decor pieces in my home a refresh. I've been getting bored with some older decor pieces in my home, and instead of getting rid of them and spending a bunch of money replacing them, I decided to give them a facelift. Welcome to my channel, Creatively Expressive. My name is Amy, and on my channel I share DIYs, thrift flips, budget decor, and all things creative. If you're new here, I would love it if you would become a part of my creative family by clicking that subscribe button below my video. Now, without any further ado, let's get into project number 1. For this project, I'm making over 2 lamps that I thrifted about 10 years ago. These were originally brass, and back then I decided to spray paint them turquoise. I've been window shopping online for lamps for a while now, and I have really been liking these wood look lamps. So instead of spending a ton of money on new lamps, I decided to try and recreate the look with my lamps. I'm going to take the shade off of the lamps and give them a good cleaning. Then I'm going to cover the lamp socket with painter's tape and cling wrap. And cover the cord with a grocery bag and tape. Now I'm going to take the lamps outside and spray paint them with the color Nutmeg by Rust-Oleum. Then I'm going to take this sandstone color chalk paint by Waverly and I'm going to water it down a bit. I'm going to use a large brush to dry brush the color over the lamps. Then I decided to water down this color Hazelnut by Waverly and dry brush that over the lamps as well. Now I'm taking the color Cafe Noir chalk paint, watering it down and dry brushing it over the lamps. At this point, I felt like the Cafe Noir color was too dark, so I decided to heavily dry brush over the entire lamp with the watered down hazelnut color. Then to lighten the lamps up again, I dry brushed over them with the watered down sandstone. Now I'm going to use some antique finishing wax to add some shadows to the lamps. And I am adding the shading to the lamps just where you would think they would be, in the dips and the grooves. I am using a small stiff bristled brush to brush the wax on, and then I am wiping the wax off with a paper towel to smear it and blend it out. When I finished adding the shading to the lamps, I took them back outside and coated them with some clear matte sealer. Then I removed the tape and plastic covering, reassembled the lamps, and this project is complete. Again, here's the inspiration, and here are my new lamps. I'm really liking the update. Let me know what you guys think. For this project, I will be making over this old mirror that my aunt gave to me over 15 years ago. Originally, I painted this turquoise to put in my daughter's room. Then about 6 or 7 years ago, she decided she didn't want it anymore, so I moved it to my living room because it matched the lamps that I just made over. I obviously love turquoise, but lately I've been wanting to have a little bit less of it in my home decor. I want the larger pieces in my home to be more neutral. I have been looking at mirrors online, and here are a few that inspired me for this makeover. First, I cleaned the frame, and then I covered up the mirror with poster board and tape. Then I took it outside, and I painted it with the color Espresso by Rust-Oleum. Now I'm going to paint over that espresso color with white chalk paint. At this point, I decided to remove the mirror from the frame to make painting easier for me. Now my idea for this was to wet distress this with a wet cloth to make some of the details in the frame stand out more. The cloth wasn't working very well though, so then I decided to use a wet kitchen sponge. This was also pretty hard and it was making my fingers pretty sore. And if I were to do this again, I think I would try adding a little petroleum jelly over the scrollwork on the frame before painting it white to make removing some of the paint easier. But since I didn't do that, I just kept slowly working at the frame with the sponge and in some spots with some fine grit sandpaper. My original plan was to just have some of the espresso color showing through the white paint, but I ended up exposing some of the turquoise too. So then I decided to just go with it, and in a few spots I even exposed a bit of the original gold color as well. When I first started distressing the frame, I removed a bit too much of the paint and I didn't like the way it looked. So to fix that, I will repaint those spots with white chalk paint. Then I added a coat of matte clear finish to the frame, and then I added the mirror back to it, and this project is complete. Again, here is my inspiration, and here is the finished look of mine. Let me know what you guys think of this one. For this project, I am making over this vase that I thrifted years ago and spray painted a light blue color. I looked online for inspiration and I liked the look of these vases. I took the vase outside and I painted it with the color Nutmeg by Rust-Oleum. Then I am going to rub some wax over the raised edges on the vase. And then I am going to paint the vase with white chalk paint. After painting a coat of the white paint, I decided that it was too bright, so now I'm going to mix some of the white paint with some ivory chalk paint and use that new color to paint the vase. Now I'm going to use a wet cloth to wet distress the vase, rubbing the spots where I applied the wax. Even though I rubbed the raised edges with wax first, the paint was not rubbing off very easily. So then I decided to try using a wet sponge to rub the rest of the paint. I don't think this made it any easier, but I just kept working at it until I was able to remove all of the paint that I wanted. Now I'm going to mix the paint I used to paint the vase with water, and then paint over the raised edges on the vase with the watered down paint. Then I use a paper towel to rub off the excess whitewash. Now for the final step, I'm going to spray on this triple thick crystal clear glaze to give my vase a glazed look. Again, here is my inspiration, and here is the finished look of mine. Let me know what you guys think of this one. For this project, I'm going to make over a couple of candle holders that I have. I got this one a long time ago from Goodwill, and at the time I was into gray decor pieces, so I painted this one gray. Now I'm more into wood tones and brown, so I'm going to paint mine brown. And here are some inspiration candle holders that I like. So first I'm going to paint the candle holder with some hazelnut chalk paint by Waverly. Now I'm watering down some more of that paint color that I used in the previous project to make myself a whitewash. Then I am going to brush the whitewash over the candle holder and rub off the excess with a paper towel. I felt like this made the candle holder too light, so now I'm trying to rub off more of the white color with a baby wipe. I felt like it was still too light, so now I'm going to water down that hazelnut color and then brush that over the candle holder and then wipe off the excess with a paper towel. I'm going to set this candle holder aside for now and then work on another gray candle holder that I got from Goodwill a few years ago. This one is also gray, and this is the way it looked when I found it. I didn't do anything to this one until now. This one has beads on a string, and there is no way to remove them but to cut them off. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm mixing the color Hazelnut by Waverly together with the color Coffee Bean by Folk Art. Then I will paint this candle holder with that mixed color. The top has a metal center, so I'm just going to carefully paint around that with a small paintbrush. Then I watered down the whitewash a little bit more, and I'm going to brush it over the candle holder. And then rub off the excess with a paper towel. Then after looking at the inspiration candle holders again, I noticed that the white was a lot more concentrated and opaque in the grooves on the candle holders. So to achieve that look better on mine, I'm going to dry brush the color Ivory by Waverly in the grooves on both of my candle holders. I am only going to show you how I did it on this one, but keep in mind when you see the final reveal that I added dry brushing to the other one as well. So I'm taking a small stiff bristled brush and I am dipping it in the paint. Then I dab off some of the excess so that the paintbrush only has a very small amount of paint on it. Then I rub that brush onto the candle holder, focusing on the dips and the grooves on the candle holder. And when I was finished with these, I gave them both a coat of clear matte sealer, and then this project was complete. Again, here is my inspiration, and here's the finished look of mine. Let me know what you guys think of this one. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Please let me know what your favorite project was in the comments section below. If you enjoyed today's video, some easy and completely free ways to help support my channel so that I can keep bringing you more ideas are to subscribe if you haven't already, give me a thumbs up, leave me a quick comment or even just an emoji, and share this video with anyone that you think might enjoy it. I truly appreciate your support and I hope you guys have a great day and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!